In May 1996, Mount Everest witnessed one of the deadliest disasters in its history, claiming the lives of 8 climbers. This tragic event underscored the inherent dangers of high-altitude mountaineering and left a profound impact on the climbing community. In the spring of 1996, numerous expeditions converged on Everest, aiming to reach the summit during the brief window of favorable weather. Among them were 2 prominent commercial expeditions led by experienced climbers. Adventure Consultants, led by Rob Hall from New Zealand. Mountain Madness, led by Scott Fisher from the United States. Both Hall and Fisher were well-known and respected guides, and their teams included climbers from various backgrounds and nationalities. They also had a number of Sherpas, the indigenous people renowned for their climbing skills and knowledge of the mountain. The expeditions began their ascent from base camp, 5,380 meters, 17,650 feet, towards higher camps. The acclimatization process was critical, as it allowed climbers to gradually adapt to the thin air and low oxygen levels. By May 9th, the teams had reached Camp 4, 7,900 meters, 25,900 feet on the South Col, poised for their final push to the summit. The plan was to leave the camp late in the evening and reach the summit by midday on May 10th. On the night of May 9th, climbers from both teams began their ascent towards the summit. However, delays occurred as they navigated the infamous Hillary Step, a nearly vertical rock face located at approximately 8,760 meters, 28,740 feet. The bottleneck caused by several climbers attempting to ascend and descend the narrow passage simultaneously significantly slowed their progress. By early afternoon on May 10th, many climbers had reached the summit and started their descent. But a violent storm, characterized by heavy snowfall, hurricane-force winds, and extreme cold, struck the mountain. The sudden change in weather conditions trapped several climbers high on the mountain. Among those stranded were Rob Hall and his client Doug Hansen, who had summited too late and were unable to descend in time. Scott Fisher also became incapacitated due to exhaustion and altitude sickness. As night fell, the situation turned dire. Rob Hall, still high on the mountain, radioed for help but could not be reached. Doug Hansen succumbed to the harsh conditions, and Hall, despite heroic efforts to save his client, eventually perished. Scott Fisher, struggling with severe exhaustion, was unable to descend from the south summit. He, too, did not survive the night. Meanwhile, climbers from other teams also faced life-threatening conditions. Some managed to reach the safety of Camp 4, while others, like Yasuko Namba from the Adventure Consultants team, were left exposed to the brutal elements and did not survive. Amid the chaos and tragedy, there were remarkable acts of heroism. Beck Weathers, a climber from Hall's team, was left for dead in the storm but miraculously revived and stumbled into camp, suffering severe frostbite and injuries. His survival and subsequent rescue became a testament to human resilience and the will to live. The disaster claimed the lives of 8 climbers, including Rob Hall, Scott Fisher, Yasuko Namba, and others. The event drew international attention and led to widespread scrutiny of the commercialization of Everest expeditions, the decision-making processes of the climbers and guides, and the unpredictable nature of the mountain. Books such as John Krakauer's Into Thin Air and Anatoly Bokriv's The Climb provided personal accounts and insights into the disaster, sparking debates and discussions within the climbing community and beyond. The 1996 Mount Everest disaster remains one of the most poignant reminders of the perils of high-altitude climbing. It highlighted the importance of preparation, experience, and respect for the mountain's unpredictable nature. The tragedy also led to changes in how expeditions are conducted, with a greater emphasis on safety protocols and decision-making in extreme conditions. The story of the 1996 Everest disaster is one of ambition, human spirit, and the harsh reality of nature's power. It serves as a sobering lesson for climbers and adventurers who seek to conquer the world's highest peaks.